New Super Lucky's Tale, a by-the-book 3D platformer that didn't make much of an impact. I recently finished this game, and I'm happy to say it scratched the 3D platformer itch that I had. While it's far from spectacular or original, it was an enjoyable time and easy to play. But there are definitely some hang-ups I had with it, as well as a pervading feeling of been there, done that throughout the whole experience. In this video, I'm going to lay out what I found to be the best and the worst aspects of this game. Be warned that full spoilers for New Super Lucky's Tale are on the table. The best. Number 1, control and mobility. By far the most impressive thing in the game, and the number 1 reason why I played it is how good Lucky feels to control. Probably the most essential thing to get right in a 3D platformer is smooth and fluid mobility. Lucky is incredibly responsive, and all of his moves flow together effortlessly. It feels great to run and jump with this guy, and you're always in complete control of exactly where he's landing. Bopping on enemies is really satisfying, and digging through the ground is speedy and polished. The auto-run levels show off how well Lucky's moves flow into each other, and it's just so easy to play. Entering levels for the first time, I just can't wait to start running around, and that's a great sign. Number 2, presentation. Although it isn't technically impressive in the visuals department, the game still boasts vibrantly colorful environments and atmospheric settings. Everything is really well conveyed and easy to perceive. Areas all feel distinct with a wide range of moods and color palettes. Character design is simple but expressive, and it's easy to tell if something is safe to approach or not. Collectibles clearly stand out, making it easy to be confident that you found everything in an area, and it's generally obvious when you're not supposed to go somewhere. Popping colors always get a thumbs up from me. Number 3, variety and ideas. Besides 3D platforming, there are 2D side-scrolling sections, auto-run sections, vertical levels, puzzle solving, marble rolling, mazes to explore, and boss fights. The game is paced remarkably well, and it offers up new and different scenarios regularly. They can be pretty hit or miss, but the variety is appreciated, and it's fun to learn what each level is about. The areas change drastically between worlds, offering up all sorts of environments and new tools to play with. Every place makes an effort to introduce a new gameplay element or idea, and they're rarely if at all reused, giving each level its own identity. Number 4, Hauntingham. The last hub world before the final boss is spooky themed, and the standout of the worlds. Each of these levels is distinct and enjoyable. One example being a carnival where you have to win games to get tickets and trade them in for prizes. Another is a platforming graveyard where you have to hunt down different ghosts to help clear the path ahead. These are far from jaw-dropping scenarios, but they're all a great time, and the atmosphere makes them very fun to explore. I'm considerably overselling it, but hey, I enjoyed it. Number 5, good vibes. Games these days are so overly concerned with being challenging that it's honestly really nice to play something that just wants to be fun. It's clear this game is targeting children, but a nice easy platformer can be a great break from all of the hyper-focused and demanding games. There's a friendly and happy vibe to the whole experience, and even the villains don't come off as particularly threatening. Because of that, it's great to chill and relax with. The post-game offers some more challenging sections the main campaign doesn't, but the difficulty is increased appropriately and takes full advantage of Lucky's moveset. Overall, the easy difficulty suits the game, and I would highly recommend it to kids just getting into video games and platformers. But now that we've discussed the best qualities of New Super Lucky's Tale, it's time to break down the biggest problems with the game. The worst. Number 1, loading times. I'm not one to usually complain about loading times, but my god, are you going to get used to looking at that golem baby for the whole game. I think loading a large level is reasonable, but you get one of these screens every time you load even the smallest puzzle areas. Loads going in, loads going out, loads to reset the puzzle. Dying is pretty easy to prevent, but even that throws a loading screen at you. And I know that's nothing new for games, but they're just way too long for loading what was already there. It gets more grating as the game goes on, and can be pretty annoying in some of the post-game levels where you can die instantly. Number 2, ball puzzles. These ball puzzles can piss off. I normally don't complain about touchy and sensitive ball maneuvering in games, but this one feels awful to control. First of all, this angle is terrible for judging depth, leading to constant collisions that feel unfair. Hope you don't have problems with motion sickness, you're gonna need a bucket for these. Oh, you got hit 3 times? Why don't you do the whole thing over again? Most of these are in the post-game, and later on they start to have more railings, which is nice, but they're still not fun and require a lot of patience. The biggest strength of this game is how much control it feels like you have over Lucky, and these sections seem to exist as the very antithesis of that. Number 3, costumes and coins. The coins feel great to pick up, but the only use for them is to buy costumes. New outfits and skins can be really fun things to unlock, but almost all of these are hideous or dorky. This is the only one I liked in the game, and it's not far off from what he's already wearing. As is, they're disappointing, but the bigger issue is the lack of a good use for coins in the first place. Considering how much they're scattered around levels, you'd think they'd be more useful. Couldn't they at least, I don't know, unlock new levels? Anything else? They're enjoyable to collect, it's just a shame that there isn't more of an incentive to bother. I guess you also get lives with them, but yeah, that's not really gonna be a problem here. Number 4, technical skips and sloppiness. While I said the presentation was great before, the game still has a good amount of unpolished moments. Characters clipping into things is nothing new, but sometimes they don't appear altogether. Not in any kind of game-breaking way, the models would just be gone. You want me to help get your customers to come back? No problem, I took care of it. Glad to help out. Wait, you're still standing over here? Come on now, that's just pathetic. Look at me running through these objects. Did they really think I wouldn't come over here? It's not hard to get to. But the worst of the technical issues are the random skips the game has. This happens sporadically throughout the game, but I only have these 2 instances in one of the post-game levels to show. Look at this. This is complete trash. These are a pretty big technical problem, and I'm surprised that they're here. Number 5, length. I have no problem with short games, but this one definitely felt like it could have had another 2 or 3 worlds in it. Lucky's moveset and the variety of challenges could have been stretched much further than they were, and there are many references to things such as Lucky's brother and parents that don't get resolved in this game, which help with the unfinished feel. I anticipated a post-game after I'd beaten the final boss, because it all just felt so brief getting to that point, but even considering that, it's still a pretty quick experience, and I take my time with games and even read all of the nonsense and pop culture references the NPCs make. It's an okay enough length, but still disappointing that it's a rather meager experience overall. But despite my gripes, I enjoyed New Super Lucky's Tale quite a bit. It has a lot of fun platforming and is similar to a lot of 3D Mario games, particularly Super Mario Galaxy. I definitely think it would have benefited from more time in the oven and felt more complete, but what's here is a good time, largely due to some excellent control and level direction. Check it out if you can get it for cheap. As always, thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.